Example 2 is really a continuation of example 1. Here we're trying to find the standard deviation. So we start with the variance, which is the sum of x squared times p of x minus the mean squared. So in order to find this, we'll start with the sum. So order of operations would tell us first that we have to square our x values. So you take 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, and so on. So once you get the x squared values, then you take x squared times p of x. And my suggestion is you just create additional columns for these. The one thing you want to be careful of is when you take x squared times p of x, make sure you multiply the correct columns. So you get 1 times 1/6, 4 times 1/6, 9 times 1/6, and so on. So when you sum this column, you get 91/6, which is the sum of x squared times p of x. And that is 15.167. So keep in mind you're not done here. That is the first part of this equation. So that is 15.167. That is only the sum. From that we need to subtract the mean squared, which we already said the mean was 3.5. We calculated that in example 1. So we need to subtract that squared. And when you do this, you will get a variance of 2.917. So do keep in mind that's the variance. To get standard deviation, we always take the square root of the variance. So when you take the square root of 2.917, you get 1.708. And that is your standard deviation. Once again, the process will always be the same. You create these columns, get the sum of x squared times p of x. Once you get that, you subtract the mean squared, and that will give you your variance. Then you can take the square root to get standard deviation.